This man's name is Bill Morgan, an Australian who managed to win the lottery twice. Of course, he is not the only one who was able to do this, and the amount of his winnings was far from the largest, but in this case, Bill occupies a special place in history. Before winning the first time, Bill was literally dead. And the situation in which he won the lottery for the second time seems to be something incredible.
I just won 250,000.
I don't think it's worth explaining that your chances of winning the lottery are negligible. Depending on the type of lottery, the probability of winning may vary slightly. But in most cases it will still be one chance in several million. As they sometimes like to say, you are more likely to die suddenly on the way to the supermarket to buy a lottery ticket than to win the lottery itself. And yet, almost every day we see news and articles about the lucky ones, to whom fortune smiled big. Understanding how small your chances of getting the main prize are, the stories of those who manage to win the lottery are especially interesting not just once, but several times. And interestingly, in almost every article of such lucky ones, you will always stumble upon the story of Bill Morgan. And this despite the fact that the amount of his winnings against the background of the rest looks more than modest. In short, the incredible story of Bill Morgan can be summed up in 4 numbers. 14 minutes, 12 days, $17,000 and $215,000. Bill Morgan was already 37 years old when his life took an unexpected turn. For a family, an ordinary truck driver living in a simple trailer. You can't say that Bill was a failure. But the fact that fate did not spoil him gifts, that's for sure. And perhaps everything would have remained so further, but fortune, apparently deciding to pay Morgan its debt for previous years, launched a series of incredible events that would eventually turn Bill Morgan's life upside down. True, it was very difficult to guess that fortune was behind all this. Especially on the first events. It all started with the fact that in 1998, Bill had an accident on his truck. In addition to his injuries, he also had heart attack. Rescuers arrived at the scene and, albeit in a very serious condition, Bill managed to be taken to the hospital. It seemed like luck. But no. In an attempt to save his life, the doctors, perhaps by accident or ignorance, injected Bill with a drug that caused an acute allergic reaction. As a result, his heart gave out and Bill Morgan died. Fortunately, Bill did not die forever, but only for 14 minutes. That's how long he was in a state of clinical death. All this time the doctors fought desperately for his life. By some miracle, they were able to start his heart and Bill, one might say, returned from that world. Luck? Yes, but not really. At that moment, for Bill himself, the situation, unfortunately, did not change significantly. His heart was beating again, but Bill fell into a deep coma. Watching the patient, the doctors, unfortunately, there was no reason to believe that in the future the situation could change for the better. And being realists, they recommended that Bill's relative be taken off that life support machine. What was the final decision of the relatives no one can say for sure. But it is known for sure that, fortunately for Bill, they did not take any hasty actions. While the relatives were thinking and deciding on his future fate, Bill suddenly woke up after 12 days in a coma. It was incredible not only that he was able to regain consciousness, but also that he did not have any of the abnormalities, or brain damage that are often characteristic of patients who have gone through clinical death. It seems that fortune has stopped making incomprehensible hints and finally got down to business. Some time later, having recovered from his injuries, Bill left the hospital, while with a firm decision to change his old life. After going through death and resurrection, Bill decided to start over and not go back to his past life as a truck driver and found a new job. He also dared to take a step that he had not dared for a long time, made an offer to his longtime girlfriend Lisa Vels and she answered him with consent. Feeling lucky that he was alive and that the love of his life had agreed to marry him, Bill decided to buy a lottery ticket. To his incredible surprise, having erased the protective layer on the ticket, Bill discovered that he had won a car worth $17,000. Here is such an unexpected gift of fate. In principle, the story could have ended at this point. Even those events that happened to Bill Morgan throughout one year would be enough to say that a wonderful and unusual story happened to him. The employees of one of the local TV channels in Melbourne most likely thought the same way. Certainly in itself a win machine these days, not great news anymore. But given that the winner was in a state of clinical death before that, and then almost 2 weeks in a coma, all this taken together was more than suitable for a separate video story. TV channel staff contacted Bill and he of course did not mind. For the news release, a video sequence was needed and the operators asked Bill to play back on camera the moment of buying a lottery ticket. The script was pretty simple. Bill pulls into the parking lot, enters the store, buys a lottery ticket, wipes off the protective layer on the ticket with a coin, and then, with great surprise, says something from the category, "Oh my God, I won a car," into the camera. Bill diligently followed the script, but especially well, the part was given to him with surprise. Then what happened next? It seems to me, you can't even imagine on purpose.
I just won 250,000. I'm not joking.
You're not, are you? Really?
I just won 250,000.
The lottery ticket that he bought just for the video shoot turned out to be the winning one. Trying to show how 2 weeks before he won a car, Bill Morgan unexpectedly won a prize of $250,000. Apparently Fortune decided to fully pay for the inconvenience caused before.
I think I'll have another heart attack.
The first thing Bill did was call his fiancée.
I won 250,000, honey. I have. We got that new house.
Here is such a story. If there were no big wins in your life, then do not rush to despair. Perhaps Fortune has something in store for you for later. Thank you so much for your channel support. If you want to see more awesome stories, then subscribe to the channel and like. And that's all for me. See you all soon.